quite a few people on the other lines. We want to get everybody to this line. Thank you so much. Appreciate your help. You guys are amazing. We couldn't do this stuff without you guys. We love you, love you, love you. All right, perfect. Look at this. This is amazing. Hey, Gary Warden, I see you waving, brother. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Mr. Gerald Ballantyne, I see you sitting there waiting with your pen and paper, sir. You're ready, aren't you, brother? Don't laugh. I see you. Michael O'Brien is waiting as well. I see you, brother. Kathy Rivera is waiting. Mikhail is waiting. Oh, this is wonderful. Bliss is waiting. All right, everyone. I see you. I see you. I love, love, love that you guys put your cameras on so we can see your smiling faces. Thank you so much. I don't think I have mine on. And look at that. I'm always on camera, so I don't know what happened. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you guys. So we're going to be conducting this call in about 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. We're going to be conducting this call. We want to make sure that everyone has a few minutes to come from the other line over. Seemed to be a little bit of confusion. I apologize for that. I'll take full blame for that. That's my fault. Okay, my fault. So we'll handle that. Jerry and I'll have a conversation after this Zoom, and we'll handle that. So there won't be any more of this confusion. Hey, Judy from Central Florida, good to see you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have 2 minutes. Mr. Jerry Lopez will be joining us. Hey, Maureen, nice to see you. It's fantastic. This is awesome stuff, y'all. Awesome stuff. Get your pens and papers ready. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right. Everybody help us move those folks from the other room over here, please. Move those folks from the other room over here, please. Brandon, if you'd be so kind as to jump on another window and jump in that room for me, please, sir. Forward everybody over here and then close that meeting out. Thank you, sir. All right. All right. This is fantastic. So look at all these smiling faces. Everybody is so happy this morning. It's Friday the 13th. We are here to get some great information from our CEO. This is going to be fantastic. You guys are going to be knocked right out of your chairs. If you don't have pen and paper, you better get some. If you're driving or moving around, I would. Okay, sincerely, get the notes from somebody because it is getting ready to happen. All right. All right, New Guinea, welcome. All right, Brandon Ivy's in the house. Dr. Alberto's in the house. Andreas is in the house. Kathy Keene is in the house. Oh, yeah, I'm going down through here now, y'all. I'm just going to call y'all out. Adrian Diaz is in the house. Alan is in the house. Alonzo's in the house. Alton's in the house. I'm talking about this thing is scrolling so fast I can't keep up. Annette is in the house. Arnold Fisher's in the house. This is amazing, y'all. Amazing. Dr. Alberto, if you'll let me know when Mr. Lopez has joined us and is ready to go via text, I'd be grateful, sir. Thank you so much.
I certainly will. I certainly.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we get these calls out and we get this information out as fast as we can. Hello, Belize, Virgin Islands. I love seeing this stuff go by. And, you know, a lot of times when we send this stuff out, we just want to make sure that everybody stays in the loop. But sometimes when we send this stuff out, we're sending it out because we know something huge is fixing to happen, okay? Something huge, a lot of great information is coming, and that's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's happening. You guys are going to be amazed at the things that can happen here today and the things that you will hear. Mr. Lopez, if you'll raise your hand, sir, or unmute yourself, I would greatly appreciate it. I'd like to get you in here and get this party started. You know, for those of you who, excuse me, for those of you who know me, you know that music is my thing. So this morning, for about the last hour, I've been doing old school jams, just getting pumped up because I know Jerry's going to show up and show out when he delivers today. So it's going to be fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a man who needs no introduction whatsoever. None. Our very own CEO, Mr. Jerry Lopez.
Hey, first of
Jerry?
all, can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for connecting. I see that there's a lot of people from all over the place. We apologize for the early confusion on the two different links, but we want to thank you guys for connecting. We're super excited. Today's going to be a little bit different. I know that you guys been getting a lot of information these past 15 days, and I want to thank the leadership group for giving you guys so much to be able to understand what we're trying to accomplish long-term, what we're trying to accomplish globally with helping people succeed around the world through the power of philanthropy, banking, education, and social revolution. You know, the reason of today is more on a personal one. And I wanted to bring to you guys a very important teaching that I've learned throughout the years as I learned to grow and understand what philanthropy really is. And as for you that don't know, this is not something that was created a few months ago. This is something that it's 3+ years old now, and we're grateful for all that has transpired. But there's something that a lot of people truly do need to understand. And I would love it if you guys can, you know, take out a pen and paper today, because what I am going to share with you is not going to be so much on up to give. It's going to be all about you and all about your process and all about what the roots behind what philanthropy is, but how us as leaders going through process helps us to become processed by purpose. And, you know, I've been working on something for you guys, kind to try to modify and get you guys to somewhat understand the depth behind of what I want to share with you. But the only way that I can really get your attention is if in the next 5 minutes, you go out there and share this link with 2 more of the people that you love most, that you really want their life to change. Because what I'm going to give you today, in 20+ years of leadership between ministry and network marketing, 16 years, I'm 42 years old. If this Zoom is not going to help you grow, then I would suggest you spend a lot of hours a day reading on what it is to truly be a leader. But if you want to truly help someone, I encourage you to send this link out a couple of more times before I start blasting out what I have for you today, which is related to how you as an individual are going to help become driven by a bigger purpose than what you expect. And not only that, it's going to help you understand why I'm so passionate about changing people's lives and why I'm so passionate about the true essence of philanthropy. Because there's so much history behind it, guys. Like, there's a lot of history behind it. And, you know, just to give you a great example of that history, you can go to historyofgiving.org. I repeat, historyofgiving.org. And you're going to be taken through over 500 years of history of how giving, philanthropy was created. Because a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of power behind that word. There's a lot of power behind what you do for others. And it's part of what I want to share with you today. But when you have a chance, after we do the Zoom, take 30 minutes of your day. I promise you that it will be worth it. Go to historyofgiving.org and go through 500 years of history, because it's really going to be amazing. So without further ado, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and start with what I wanted to share with you today, which to me is extremely, extremely important for you guys to see the value behind what I want to share. And looking at the principles, I need for you to enable my screen sharing. Chris, make me a co-host, please, so I can enable screen sharing.
Yes, sir.
This education that I'm going to give you now is going to really help you understand where we're headed. So let me go ahead really quick and get to sharing this. Let's make sure that everyone can see what we have here. Can everyone see this 100% fully? Can you see it, Chris? If you
Yes,
can,
sir.
if you
Loud and
can,
clear.
if you guys can, just write on the chat there if you can see it. We'd love to see if you guys are seeing what I'm going to share. And of course, I'd love to see our community chatting and getting fired up and excited. So guys, I'm just going to go right through this really quick because this is important. But what I want to share with you is beyond the importance of this. You guys know, what we will look like when we complete all the functions and our 4 pillars. You know that we're big on philanthropy. We have the giving box, personal causes, our culture. We have education. We want to, focus on what has been overlooked for so many decades, which is soft skills. Banking, of course, you guys know, we have a tremendous partnership. And social revolution, which is, to be honest with you, part of one of my favorites, because it's when people are truly going to see the heart of who we are. Because it's not until our stories go viral of giving back to the world and people being transformed through our ecosystem and people being transformed and their stories being told and being fulfilled. It is not until that happens that we will not see the 4 pillars of who we are come to life. And we're getting there and we're doing all that. But I wanted you guys to make sure that throughout what we're going to talk about today, you don't lose sight of these 4 things, because it's who we are. But do you really know what we're trying to accomplish? That's a question that I've asked myself these past 60 days. Does the community truly know what we're trying to do? It's it hard to understand? Is it confusing to understand? But does anyone really know? And it's not a negative thing. It's just a thing of process, a thing of preparation, of mindset, of culture, of being able to get to a place of accomplishment where we all as leaders can understand what we're trying to do. And simply enough, I'm gonna quote you something that John Gardner once said. He said, "Wealth is not new, neither is charity. But the idea of using private wealth imaginatively, constructively, and systematically to attack fundamental problems of mankind is certainly new." And when you think about that, we're not trying to reinvent a wheel here, guys. We're simply trying to be different with something that has already been instructed for over 500 years. And when you go on to that website, you're going to see that all of it started in the early 1500s. Because if you go back to the word of philanthropy, the origin of philanthropy was founded in 1526 when Juan Luis Vives publishes influential essays on poverty. But it wasn't until almost 70 plus years later, early in the first century of the 1600s, that philanthropy turned into a Greek movement of love for mankind. And if people understood the root behind the power of what this is, and you understand the depths of what we're trying to accomplish, this is going to become for you a movement of changing lives, which is what I've felt the past 3 years, which is what I felt my entire life as a minister, as an entrepreneur, as a philanthropist. And let me just guide you through some of these timelines of acts that took place, at least in this nation. In this nation, if you go back to 1770, the St. George Society is founded to help impoverished colonists in New York. And the cool thing about this is, if you keep going through this history, that soon followed in Philadelphia, in Charleston, and later in other American states. Then it went into Canada, Australia, New Zealand. These societies exist today as St. George Societies of New York, and it is considered the oldest charity in the United States. Did you guys even know that? And the craziest thing about this is that it's the oldest one in the United States that is recognized, yet the influences of philanthropy happened 200 years, almost 200 years prior. Talk about time, right? Talk about paying a price. Talk about process. Talk about understanding a vision. I'll give you another example, guys. Let's go to 1907. The first private family foundation in the United States, the Rosso Sage Foundation, is founded to study and disseminate knowledge about social problems. 200 plus years later, or 100 plus years later about that, 1911 and 1913, board of the Carnegie Corporation of New York, started by Andrew Carnegie with donations of 125 million. And the Rockefeller Foundation, started by John D. Rockefeller, with a donation of 35 million, are founded. Mainstream to the modern private foundations. 1912, the Rockefeller hires Frederick T. Gates to be his assistant, pioneering the role of modern foundation staff in handling Rockefeller's philanthropic activities. So here you have private families influencing major corporate players into understanding the power of giving back. Let's keep going. 1924, the New York Community Trust is founded. As of 2008, it is the nation's third largest community foundation by asset size and fourth largest community foundation by total giving. 1960s, the Ford Foundation leads the way in redefining the relationship between private philanthropy and the state by shaping government policy. The foundation's demonstrations projects for community action in a half a dozen cities led the way to Economic Opportunity Act of 1964, which launched federal programs based on Ford's model in 600 cities. Did you actually believe that Ford knew that his act of philanthropical movement through a private sector shaped it into government policy, and the government launched federal programs based on the act of love for mankind? One person decided to shape a difference, and look at what happened. After 600 cities, based on the Ford model in 600 cities. Well, that sounds like a lot of cities. Well, yes, it does. But if you look at the time frame, 1960, the act became an act in 1964. Process. It takes time, sacrifice. And it was recognized because what they had to offer was definitely something that was life-changing for the people in need. Then you go to 1979. Philanthropy in New York is established as a nonprofit organization by New York City Foundation. Its purpose is to strengthen the capacity of grant-making organizations to fulfill their mission to serve the public good. So we keep going, guys, we keep going. And people just don't get it. So why is paying a price so important? I'll be very well with you. Everything has a price, guys. You can't have an amazing lifestyle without sacrificing something. Every successful person you know today has a price story to tell. There is no substitute for sacrifice when it comes to success. The price is the way. 500 plus years of history of philanthropy, all because one person raised a voice. One person raised a voice for people who were in need. But then again, we go through hurdles, weeks of hurdles, 2 months of hurdles, and people are giving up. A relentless obsession with achieving outrageous results has everything to do with your success. But there is a line you should never cross, people. You shouldn't cross this line on your way to the top. And that's your reputation, your principles, and integrity, because they are a paramount of importance to your success. The moment these three things are broken, you're done. And as a minister, as a pastor, as a father, as a husband, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, I am not going to compromise myself for anything, because my reputation is important for my children. My principles are of giving back to the world. I'm a giver, not a taker. And if you guys have been watching all the Zooms that all these great board members of Up to Give have been giving you guys the past 15 days, you will understand a lot of the things that me personally is doing behind the scenes to try and change and shape the ecosystem that we've created for everyone to grow. Because this goes beyond an opportunity. We're trying to make a difference. And this is something that me personally, I will never compromise. You jeopardize those things, eventually you will lose it all. And that is the truth. Because everything has a price. You even pay a price when you do something wrong. So what would you rather do? Would you rather do something bad and pay a price for something negative? Or would you rather pay a price for something that's going to bring you wealth and blessings over your life? It's all a choice. And the important thing is to be ready at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you could become. Charles Dickens. I don't even know if you guys know who Charles Dickens is, but I do, because he wrote some of the best, most popular English novels. A Tale of the Two Cities. He wrote Nicholas Nickleby, David Copperfield, The Bleak House, and Great Expectations. You know, so I am quoting you history, guys. I am not quoting you out of thin air. I'm quoting you from facts. I always say documentation beats conversation. You can try to inspire me to do greatness, but give me your testimony of greatness. You can try to sell me on the greatest thing in the world, but show me how well you've done with what you're trying to teach me. Because if we're not being testimony of what we're saying, how can we get other people to understand the importance of what we're trying to share? And the important thing is, that in order for you to get there, to be able to take others with you, you have to be ready at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you could become. That is simply the truth behind everything, because nothing in life is free. Now, why is paying a price important? Well, here's your roadmap. I hope you guys are ready. Because if you want to succeed, figure out the price you're willing to pay for it and pay it. That's the first thing. Why? Very simple. Because the first thing you got to do in order to be successful, you have to choose your sacrifice. James Allen's once quoted, "He would accomplish little, must sacrifice little. He would achieve most, sacrifice much. He would attain highly, must sacrifice greatly." I will repeat myself again. He who would accomplish little must sacrifice little. He who would achieve much must sacrifice much. He who would attain highly must sacrifice highly. Go and find out the history of who James Allen was. You'll be surprised of what he is recognized for. But the truth of the matter is, a price needs to be paid in order for you to succeed in life, period. Outside of Up to Give, I don't care if you're doing another company, whatever the case is, the truth of the matter is sacrifice needs to be made. So the first thing you need to do, if you want to succeed, you need to choose your sacrifice. What is it that you're going to choose? What is it that you're going to sacrifice in order to get to where you want to be? I'm going to give you a historical example of sacrifice that to me is a dear example, because as a leader, as a musician, it has brought life to me and understanding how much I had to sacrifice to get to where I am. Mozart. I don't know if you guys knew, but under the guidance of his father, produced one of the most prolific and influential composers of the classic era. Mozart had clocked up to 3,500 hours, people, by the time he was 6 years old, and has studied his chosen profession for 18 years before he wrote his piano concert number 9 at the age of 21. And sometimes we complain about the fact that we had to spend 45 minutes or an hour a day to help our leaders. Sometimes we don't even spend an hour a day on our goals and dreams. But then again, we're expecting greatness. But here you have a six-year-old that by the time he was 6, there was 3,500 hours of time invested. And before his major explosion happened, it took him 18 years before he wrote his piano concert number 9. What is your excuse, guys? What are you sacrificing today to get you to the next level of success? And all of this is going to come down with something powerful at the end. And all of this will be tied down to what we're doing. But the first thing you need to understand and do when you're talking about a roadmap to be successful and paying the price is that you got to choose your sacrifice. So write down on that sheet of paper, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to be successful? Second, never forget that comfort is your enemy. Once you understand what you're willing to sacrifice, never forget that comfort is your enemy. One half of knowing what you want is knowing what you must give up before you get it. Sidney Howard. So if I know that I want something, I need to know what I'm willing to be able to give up to get it. So in other words, there is truly no success unless you set your mind to succeed. Unless you really understand what you want to do to accomplish your lifestyle. Get there. Understand that. Be a leader. Stop complaining that things are not going the way you want them to be. It's the things that you keep telling between your ears that are the ones that are messing with your success. It ain't your uplines. It ain't your leadership. It's yourself. Because you reflect your leadership. The worst enemy you have is yourself. Alan Henry of Life Hackers explained something that was interesting back in 1908. The idea of comfort zone goes back to a classic experiment in psychology. Psychologists Robert M. Yeager and John D. Thompson explained that the state of relative comfort created a steady level of performance. That's true. In order to maximize performance, however, we need a state of relative anxiety, a space where our stress levels are slightly higher than normal. This space is called optimal anxiety, and it's just outside of our comfort zone. What does this mean? That if you're comfortable, you're not growing. You need to push yourself out of the box. You need to push yourself to the limit, because at the end of the day, you will only grow as much as you're willing to sacrifice. You want to know why? Because misery is comfort. It is why so many people prefer it. It is the only reason why 1% and 3% of people make it in the industry of network marketing. 97% of the people are comfortable. 3% are uncomfortable, and 1% are completely out of the comfort zone trying to get to the next level of success. Comfort kills potential, people. Your body and mind craves easy routines, which is our biggest problems as humans. We naturally gravitate towards our safe zones, but your growth depends on discomfort. If you're not comfortable, you're not doing it right. If you're comfortable, you can grow. You have space to grow. If you're feeling comfortable, then find something that challenges you. Find a place that gets you to the next level. Because to achieve greatness, you have to push past your safety zone. I need for you 300 plus leaders to understand this. Because all of this history that I'm giving you, all of this understanding about why paying a price is important and why this roadmap that I'm giving you is important is because it all comes down to one thing, and I'm going to give it to you at the end here. What is the 1/3 thing, Jerry? What is it? Time, not money, is your most valuable asset. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. Charles Darwin. I'm sure you guys know who he is. Guys, family, fellow friends, up to give family, community. You want to succeed, you have to understand that the value that you give, what you believe in, is important. How you're doing it is important. It's time, it's not money. Who are you spending the time with? What are you doing to help people accomplish their goals? Why do we at one point had 4,000 or 5,000 people stopping ground zero? When what we should be searching for is their stories and helping pushing their stories out there. Because we gotta get to the last pillar, social revolution. People are not gonna know who we are to the extent of what you guys have until we go viral with all these amazing stories. But a man who dares to waste time, 1 hour of time, has not discovered the value of life. So the results and success you want can take you twice as long, but you know what? That's okay. Don't quit because you can't figure out the process. Don't quit because the price is too high. If you want it bad enough, you will find a way. Deliberate, long practice has a lot more to do with your success than you think. I will repeat that last sentence I wrote. Deliberate, long practice has a lot more to do with your success than you think. People don't see results in 1 month and they're already quitting. People get frustrated and they start blaming everyone else. People have had so many unfortunate issues, unfortunate opportunities, and they blame everyone in whole in the community, in the industry, for crap that others did in the past. But the truth of the matter is, it's never anyone's problem. It's ourselves. We are our greatest asset. We are our greatest success. We are the successor. But we can't succeed until you guys make a decision to what you're willing to sacrifice to succeed. Because you cannot sit here and tell me that you want to be successful if you're not willing to pay a price of process to become processed. And it's true. A lot of people quit because they can't figure out process. If you can't figure something out, then you're hanging around with the wrong people. Why? Because you're a reflection of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That is history. So you got to connect with people that are going to help you grow. Benjamin Hardy, a prolific writer, once said, "Nothing in life is free, especially your time. Everything has a cost. And when it comes to your time, the cost is heavy. You can never get it 1 second back. You can live your life on purpose. You can spend your time on things you value. You can become who you intend to become. You can continue to progress and evolve even after you've become successful and fulfilled. But the price must be paid." You can't sit here and tell me that you want to become a multiple 6-figure earner. You can't say, "I want to become a millionaire in the industry of blockchain," when you're not even willing to spend an hour a day helping others. When you're not spending an hour a day bringing value to those who need you. Do you want to know one of the things that hurts me the most about this industry? That there's people that say, "Oh, I can enroll 100 people." And they go ahead, they enroll 100 people. But you want to know what the problem with enrolling 100 people is? Do you have 100 hours in a day to spend with those people? Or would you rather spend 10 hours a day building 10 leaders that can go ahead and do the same thing with 10 others? The problem here is that you disperse yourself so much that you don't have a game plan to succeed. Because at the end of the day, time is the most valuable thing you have, and you got to invest it the right way. And at the end of the day, all we're asking for people to do is take 2 people with you to succeed. The power of 2. The power of 2 people. Help their causes become life. Help their purpose be fulfilled. Because by default, you will grow. You will understand the purpose of growing. You will understand the purpose of becoming successful. But you have to pay a price. And I'm going to leave you guys with one that I love most. There's 168 hours every week. Let that sink in for a moment. 168 hours every week. How many of those 168 hours every week are you spending on yourself to develop yourself so that you can bring value to other people who need this opportunity? How many of you are truly understanding that what we're going to accomplish is we want to be on that timeline that I told you about? I want us to be in that timeline because we want to make a true difference in the world. That's the reason why there's 4 pillars to what we're trying to accomplish. But it's not going to happen in a month. It's not going to happen in the reset. The reset is just, hallelujah, we finalized the way we want to do the giving box. And guess what? Everyone's going to run through the giving box faster. Praise the Lord. I am excited about that. But guess what? We still got banking coming. We still have other things coming. We still have the social revolution part going. Guys, this is not a sprint. Up to Give is not a sprint, for crying out loud. We are a movement that's creating the biggest marathon of philanthropy that has ever existed in over 500 years. Because if you look through those timelines, you're going to realize yourself, which is the reason why I would love for you to take your time to look, that no one has ever taken this to the people one-on-one by the power of two. And if network marketing has been successful throughout the past 4 decades, because on a one-on-one scale, they've been changing people's lives, what makes us believe that we can't do the same by putting everyone else's needs before us so we can prosper by the fact that we're giving back? But how many hours out of this whole entire week are you willing even to spend? I'll make it even easier for you. Divide that by 2. That means, let's say you sleep 12 hours. Cut that sucker in half. Even if you spend an hour a day, you can get 10 calls in. You can get at least 2 Zooms in. And if you're smart enough, you get your 10 people to get 10 Zooms in. And you can get those 10 Zooms in together with one and create massive Zooms like the ones we do to help all you guys grow. But that is what paying a price means. And this quote is something that I love. And I want to share with you before I go into view. The year was 1226. Remember that when you leave this earth, you can take with you nothing that you have received, only what you have given. A full heart, enriched by honest service, love, sacrifice, and courage. Francis of Assisi, a man who was remembered for his generosity to the poor and willingness to minister to the people. Remember that when you leave this earth, you can take with you nothing that you have received, only what you have given. A full heart, enriched by honest service, love, sacrifice, and courage. Guys, I don't know honestly what else to tell you. Because the truth of the matter is, you guys can sit here and tell me 1,000 times to 1 why you should not be successful. You guys can give me 1,000,000 reasons why you're still in the same place you are. But it's no one's fault. It is not my fault. It is not the dev team's fault. It is not the leadership fault. It is all on ourselves. Why? Because we need to make a decision of how we're going to play the role. We want to succeed, yes. The reset is going to be extraordinary. I think it's going to be exactly what it's called, the Genesis reset. Why? Because this is going to be big. But we can't expect to have growth, to have success, to have leverage of growth if people are doubtful of their own leadership. I am going to do this with or without you. I'm going to do this with or without Chris, with or without KT, with or without Dr. Alberto, Brandon, Mike Boggs, Sean Starr. I'm going to do this because I believe that this is going to change people's lives. I believe that we were called in this name and era, in this time and age, for this to be born. And we are doing it. 30,000 people already on Up to Give. 20,000 in the community are activated, running the play. And this Genesis reset that's about to happen in 2 days is going to change a lot of people's lives. Because you don't know all the hard work and sacrifice that we've had to go through to try to get that giving box to be the way it is and the tool that it is today. Because we don't want it to be a comp plan. It's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a tool of our ecosystem for you guys to be able to go and help people that are in need, 30, 40 bucks at a time. Do you know what that can do for someone in Cambodia, in Brazil, Latin America, somewhere, Mexico, when the average income is $300 a month? And some of them is $150. But you have to pay a price to succeed, guys. You can't expect to get to level 6 in a pre-launch. You can't expect to get to level 4 or 5 in the first month. You can't expect to. That's the reason why only 1% make it. because people are desperate to have immediate success and they're not willing to pay a price for it. If you guys want to roll this game with me, if you guys want to take this to the next level of success, the only thing I ask for you is to be paceful, be consistent, take time, write down the times you're gonna invest to help other people, and you're gonna win. You're gonna be successful. This is not a fly-by-night thing. We're here to make a difference. We're here to really change and try to change as many lives as we can around the world, but the only way that we can do that is with you. I can't do it by myself. So at the end of the day, what was today about? What was today about? It was all about you. It was all about you, not up to give. Because how can I keep feeding you up to give until you vomit, until the food is all the way up to here, and you start like, too much up to give? No, forget about up to give for a second. Let's talk about you. How you can accomplish the success that we can offer by helping other people. So go out there, guys, and let this sink in. Let's truly make this reset something big. There's almost 400 people connected. If each of you go out there and get 10 of those people that came in the beginning and tell them, you ain't giving up on me, we're gonna do this together. Let's go out there and make this thing work, get reactivated, and let's go change people's lives. You're gonna see that it's only going to get better. It's not going to get worse because we're striving for excellence. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for dealing with me for these past 35, 40 minutes. But I think it was important that you guys hear me out, because I can't do this for you guys. I can only give you the tools. You guys have extraordinary leadership. The Brandons, the Bertos, the Chris's, the Katies, the KTs, the Kathys, the Seans, you know, like the Andreas of this world, for crying out loud. This guy, he's relentless. He doesn't stop. None of the leaders stop. But just imagine if all of you guys understand why we're doing it and where we're headed. And when you guys see that, and when you guys take out of those 100+ hours a week and you assign some time to change someone's life, you're going to understand exactly what I'm telling you to do. God bless you guys, and I'm going to pass you over to Chris.
Oh my goodness, Jerry, thank you so much. Man, you know, I'm humbled, I'm blessed. I think everyone here feels the same way. I'm seeing people clap hands, I'm seeing heads nodding. The messages are fantastic. You know, sometimes we need to hear exactly what we just heard. And, you know, if you didn't take anything away from this, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you took this one thing, and that is, are you a winner? Are you a winner? And so from now on, when I get on a call with somebody, from now on, when I'm talking to someone, the first thing I'm going to ask them is, are you a winner? Tell me why. I want to know why you think you're a winner, because you're going to need that. You're going to need that, just like Jerry said. You can't go from 0 to successful, in this case, level 6, in just a few minutes. Okay? Think about your garden, ladies and gentlemen. Spring is coming for a lot of us. Okay? A lot of you have already broken your ground. You've tilled the soil. You've prepared the dirt, right? And the next things you're going to do are, you know, put the things in there that make it healthy, that make it prosperous for the plants that you're going to grow. But you're not going to put a plant or seed in the ground tomorrow and expect to pick the fruit next week. It doesn't work that way. So I believe that we have a core group of winners, and we just have to teach others to be winners within themselves. It can be done. We do it all the time. We just don't realize that we do it. So we've got to get our heads wrapped around it. Okay? We've got to sit down and make it happen. So like Jerry said, go back to the folks that, believed in the vision to begin with. Have a simple question. Have a simple conversation with them. I'm going to pick on somebody. I don't know. I'm just going to point my finger. Maggie Cook. I'm going to call Maggie Cook and I'm going to say, Maggie, are you a winner? Why do you believe you're a winner? Tell me more. And she's going to give me the answer, right? Now, Maggie is a winner. She is a winner. Why? Because she's here. Why? Because she took the time out to take care of her business. Why? There's a million reasons why. She may not know them. As leaders, guys, as winners, we got to show people that they're winners too. Okay? So this message was needed. This message was exactly what we needed right before our reset. It's probably not what you were expecting. That's why it was needed all that much more. I hope you guys took a lot of notes. I hope you guys were able to really connect with Jerry. Jerry, thank you for pouring your heart into this. I felt your heart. I felt your genuine compassion, okay, for everybody that was on this call and everybody that's part of Up to Give. So I would encourage everyone to also, go to thehistoryofgiving.org. Read up on that. Read up on that. Sometimes we can connect. It's like Christmas. When Christmas comes around, have you ever noticed people are so giving, right? Between Thanksgiving and the New Year, people are phenomenal. And then life gets in the way again. So we got to help them reconnect every so often. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I will encourage each and every one of you to have a great weekend. This is Friday. All right. We could not ask for a better reset time than now. Why? Because the weekend's coming. Most people aren't working. You're interacting with more people. You're seeing more people. You're doing more things. Use that time wisely. Use that time wisely. Remember, 168 hours a week. We all have the same amount of time. Okay? Time versus money. Which is more important? Which is the most valuable? In case you didn't catch it, it was time. Ladies and gentlemen, we love each and every one of you guys. You are winners. You are all so important to Up to Give, and we are grateful for each and every one of you. We will see you very soon. Look forward to sharing another wonderful call with our CEO, Jerry Lopez. Thank you so much. You all have a great day, and we'll be helping you all weekend. Bye, guys.